afternoon. We're going to call to order the Horry County Solid Waste Authority regular meeting, December 12th, 2019, at 1 p.m. I will deliver the invocation, and then we will ask Mr. Koswaskoff to lead us in pledge to the flag. So we can take this a minute to bow our heads, please. Well, we just want to take this opportunity to thank you for bringing us through another safe year. We ask that you go with the solid waste staff and their family through this holiday season. We ask special blessings for Esther and Mike as they continue their recovery. We ask a special blessing for the board as we continue to do the work for the Horry County citizens to do the best job that we can. We ask that you keep all safe in this new holiday that's coming up. These and all other blessings I ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And all of you should have a revised agenda. I need to get an approval of the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second. It's probably moved in second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, the motion is carried. We need to get approval of November 19th regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. We have no request for public input, so we will move directly into the department reports.
Mr. Chairman, I'd
Yes,
like to recognize the fact that we have a guest with us today, and we might put them first on our agenda.
I think I've already spoke to Jan about that, and she's going to report along with Jan.
Great.
Thank you. Okay. And glad to have you back again. Thank you. Okay. Esther, Jamie you're going to stand in for Esther Einstein.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to start by, on Esther's behalf, thanking everybody for the thoughts and prayers during this time for her surgery. She's doing pretty good. I know y'all spoke with her a lot of when you've seen her, but she wanted me to especially thank everybody for that and the phone call. So, thanks for that. And y'all continue to remember her. First thing I'm gonna go over is the Pop Art update. We have a contest every year. This year was, the winner of the Pop Art contest was an 8th grader from Blackwater Middle School. Her name was, Amelia Avan. She won a prize pack with recycling, contents and an electronic reading device. She used recycled styrofoam, and there's a reed behind you. She's done a real good job. Talented students. We had a lot of good entries this year.
Where will that go now that,
We keep it here, don't we? We
No,
usually keep it
it'll
here.
be going back to the student. They're starting to ask for it.
It's gonna go in another contest,
Oh, you're going to
and
get
then
another?
they get it back.
Okay.
they get it back? Okay.
I thought it stayed here for a period of
It
time.
does stay here, and then the school will get it, but then it'll go into another contest, and
Okay.
then they'll get it back.
Okay.
It really is exquisite. Thank you.
Very good. Yeah.
Next on the agenda, grinding of the greens. That's where everybody brings their, once used to be live tree. We grind them for free mulch. That'll go on from December 26th through January 29th. So if anybody's interested in getting some of that mulch, that's the dates it'll be going on. Last, we got the concrete handed, for the month of November. Our staff recognized Mr. Harold Phillips. He happened to be there recycling, and he won the prize for the month of November. It was good to see that he's still recycling. Everybody, I think, has got a holiday schedule in their booklet for the SWA. Individual hours for holiday. That's all I've got. I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Thank you, Jamie. Any questions? All right, appreciate it. Finance and Administration?
Good afternoon.
Good
As you can
afternoon.
see, there are not any financial reports in this board package due to the short time period. We just don't have time to get them processed and to you, so we'll have them in January. But I would like to introduce, of course, Angie Jones and R.A. Johnson are here from Horry County. She's going to update you on the collateral, process and where everything is with that, and answer any other questions you may have for us. So I'm gonna let Angie come up. I really appreciate them both being here.
I'll come anytime, I've told you guys that. I don't think there's any need to go in and rehash the finding on your audit this time. I think everybody understands that. The bank took full responsibility, and unfortunately, like I've told a couple of you I spoke to, I don't have the button to mash. So, back when this happened with the school district in November of 2018, I had an idea of a blanket collateralization. So I sent it up to the attorneys, and you guys are familiar with the turnover in Horry County. So it kind of got put on the back burner and sent to an attorney in Charleston. Well, I'm gonna really seriously tell you guys, just like I told the school district. When this happened with y'all, I'm the person who notified y'all. So I am well aware that it happens. So as I told the school board Monday night, in true Angie Jones fashion, I put my big girl panties on and fixed it. Okay, so here's what we have now. We have what's called a blanket collateralization, which I don't know why it hadn't been done for many years. It makes perfect sense to me. Because on any given day, the bank's process is, let's say you got $5 million that come into your account in an afternoon. Well, guess what? Until they assign that collateral to your federal ID, it's not collateralized until the next morning. This is their process. So through this blanket collateralization, because we keep 150 million in collateral at all times, Now it doesn't have to be assigned to a federal ID. You guys are with Horry County General and Horry County Schools. So it doesn't matter if solid waste has 10 million come in one night or the school has 40. Everybody's covered under one blanket collateralization, and I'm the custodian of the collateral. So moving forward, guys, we should never see this happen again.
Sounds good to me. Guess the school is probably clapping too, huh?
Yeah, because listen, trust me, guys, and Jan can tell you this, and Danny too. There was nobody any more upset than me.
Right,
Because, you know, and what this does is it knocks out human error.
right.
Because, I mean, you know, those that don't make mistakes cast the first stone. And so, I mean, you know, because Arrigo was like, let's do breach of contract with the bank, and it was an error, guys, a mistake. And we were in no danger of losing the money overnight. This was a bank error, and I will tell you guys, I know y'all don't work in this field like I do every day, but if Bank of America or Wells Fargo folds, I'm gonna take y'all's money and dig a hole in my backyard and put it there, because we in trouble. I mean, honestly.
You gonna put a marker up where it is?
Yeah. I mean, we would be better off doing that if the two largest banks in the world collapse.
Well,
So,
I just want to recognize you for doing this, because this is something that will work. This was only discovered because it was the last day
Right.
of the month on a weekend at the end of a quarter. So I know it occurs more frequently than that. It was
Absolutely.
only discovered because it was triple witching.
exactly, and see, we took extra steps. It's not our jobs to tell the bank when we have money coming in. Y'all, it's really not. They're supposed to see that. But RA himself personally called every bank we have money in that week and told them, we got this coming, this coming. So, I mean, and we do that on a weekly basis. So, I mean, we've done everything we can do on our side to prevent it. Stuff that we don't even have to do.
Well, banks are supposed to do that overnight, so the money's still there the next morning.
Right, and so this is their process, and when I met with Will Taylor, I said, this doesn't even make sense to me. I mean, I get that we have different federal ID numbers, but I'm the custodian of the collateral for all of them. So why not just be under one? And I mean, think about it when our mortgage tapes come in, Mr. Bo. If we got a $40 million mortgage tape coming in, I mean, that's gonna help us here. And we've also took the step, at year end, we're gonna add 50 million, just right off the top to the blanket. Just to be on the safe
So
side.
that there's that much uniform coverage.
Yeah, just in case, something slips through or something comes in late. So we gonna do that too, so y'all
Thank you
should
for
never
finding
say.
a solution that works it out on a basis that we know is gonna be reliable. Thank you.
This just makes sense to me. I don't know why it hadn't been done way before now.
Good, thank you. We really appreciate you coming, so everybody's,
Y'all call me anytime. I told Jen and I told Danny, anytime y'all need me, I'll be right here.
all right.
And Merry Christmas to you all, and we have a great working relationship, and I definitely want that to continue.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, RA.
Okay, operations, Mr. Bassett.
Do a little video here of our new scale house that's all approved. Of course, look out, we're gonna give you an aerial.
I don't recognize it.
Where's that?
I give you close, not Berkeley County.
You went and found a scale house on another planet.
Yeah,
Okay.
spent $1 million on it.
You did.
But, this is the thing, as you can see, this is the entrance. We now have 4 lanes versus 2.
Man.
The orange boxes you see are the express lanes so that the drivers will eventually be able to come up on there, put codes in. It'll give them their own ticket, don't have to deal with a scale house attendant. We did some landscaping here and our glass mulch that we did. So these are the 2 inside ones was the old rebuilt scales and the 2 outside ones was the new ones that we did. And they are now above ground, so they're easier to clean out and they won't settle in water.
Good.
And our resident, drone flyers took this picture.
Did a good job.
Chris.
Wow.
He did
Wow.
good, man.
Paul did good.
Wow.
Looks good.
It does look real good. So, Mike, what's the process of getting a ticket, getting a number to get you on
So if you got an account with us,
Uh-huh.
eventually, Jan probably can talk more exactly how she's trying to set it up. But eventually they'll be able to come up, enter their account number, enter their equipment number, their truck number they're in, and then what type of waste they're gonna have, whether it be MSW, C&D, or either go to the C&D processing. And if you have an account in a tear weight already in our system, when you go on the inbound scales, it'll give you a ticket right then.
Okay.
But if for some reason you don't have your tear weight in, you come out on the right side, he's looking from that, coming out from the landfill now. On the right side, you come out, put your number back in, it'll print your ticket out and you go on.
Okay.
And 2, you gotta realize that the scale house attendants can, like if we had a storm, we could put 2 scale house attendants in there and you could process a bunch of trucks coming through, especially when we got a hurricane or something. We get real backed up to the road.
Yeah, that will.
That'll speed it up dramatically right there.
That's good.
Fantastic.
The old scales, I think, lasted over 20 years. We hope these will last 30.
But it wasn't the scales that failed, it was the foundation.
Oh, okay.
And when we did it, we upgraded everything to digital. So a lot of it was analog before, the load cells and stuff, and we went to digital.
Oh, God. Good flying, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
I want to see something there, I holler Chris. Next on the agenda is the MRF sort line update. I want to give y'all a little update. I put a little write-up inside the board packet about it, but on January the 9th, we will be shutting down the material recovery facility at about noon and open back up on the 9th of February. After that process, of course, we're gonna be belling anything that we cannot process. Y'all aware that we got a short line in there. It has about 4 people on it, and we're gonna continue to run that. We're gonna run that about 16 hours a day, 5 days a week. And we also gonna utilize the C&D processing facility at night to process material on that line after the C&D processing facility shuts down. Then the people from the MRF will come over and operate it until midnight. So we're gonna try to keep as much of that material processed as we possibly can. Material that we cannot will be something coming from curbside programs that's commingled from the cities, from the private industry. We will not be able to process that material because it's got everything in the world in it. We're gonna be processing commingled from the centers, which is bottles and cans and stuff over here. We're gonna be doing cardboard, newspaper, and office paper over at the MRF. And the rest of it, we're gonna bale, which we think will be about 750 tons of material that'll be baled. And we'll put that, stack it over there. And then when the new line opens up, we'll break that apart and run it back through the line and sort it. Then, of course, our new storage facility will be utilized to keep the material in we process and bale. So we'll fully utilize that storage building and that loading dock we got there during that period of time.
Now, Mike makes this sound simple.
Yeah.
But it is not gonna be a simple operation. We're gonna remain in operation, taking material. Be running 2 shifts over here, one with the recyclables, one with C&D during the day. Richard Crab's gonna be in the MRF, pushing and getting stuff out, and it's gonna be, and I told Mike's group this week, this one says, well, I'm responsible up to this time, and then I'm responsible this time, and I said, we're all responsible all the time, and it's gonna take us all to make this thing work. And as I used to say downtown, we may not be the smartest, but we're the fastest on our feet on getting stuff done. If you have a problem, and we will, we're looking forward to it, and everybody's excited about getting in it and getting it done, and we're gonna be cleaned up. The old equipment will be painted the same color, so you won't go in and be hopscotched around and look like a quilt. So we're looking forward to
Yeah, in order to try to save as much money as we could, because since we had limited funds, we took what money that was given to us and put it into new equipment. And the maintenance department chose to do certain items that they're doing that's gonna be they're gonna be working weekends, late at night and stuff to get that ready for, because they will get a hold of the plant sometime on the 9th, and then they gotta tear a bunch of stuff out themselves. And we gotta get ready to put the electrical in, we've gotta take the old electrical out, and they will be doing that. And gotta have that done, and some stairs has gotta come out, some rails has gotta come out, and our maintenance department will be doing that. So there's gonna be a lot of work going on there, and we gotta be out of the way before the other company comes in and starts taking it apart. And then we gotta operate those pieces of equipment around with trucks coming in. So it's gonna be constantly coordinating, and I'm sure it'll change every week. At our staff meeting, we discuss what we're gonna do again, hoping that it'll generate some conversation try to make it better. And we're doing that. I think we've got a great crew that's gonna get this thing done. It's just gonna be a lot of work. I'll probably have less headache, and Richard probably have no hair by the time this gets over.
And completion date is February when?
February 9th.
February 9th, so we'll be down for 30 days. That's good.
So it'll be down 30 days,
And you started ran on the 7th,
January 9th.
January 9th, okay.
The Machine X will take control of the plant at 7 a.m. on Friday morning. So Richie's gotta have everything he's gotta do and out of their way by Friday morning at 7 o'clock. So,
Are we able to do any of the preparation work to do, like new conduit in advance of the work, or not?
that's all part of their contract, to put a new conduit in for the wiring and all that.
We weren't able to start that early?
Well, we did do some of the electrical work early. We were responsible for all the electrical work, so we already got the electrical boxes in, we got the drops
We got the
ready.
preliminary.
Yeah, preliminary stuff, anything preliminary we've been able to do, we've been working on it, getting it done. But there's some things we can't do till the last day. We're gonna be taking a wall out. We'll take that out a week or so before. We gotta take sprinkler system out of it that's hooked to them things. We gotta take that part of the sprinkler system out and then reactivate the rest of the sprinkler system. So we gotta do all that, and we gotta coordinate working with all that stuff.
What Richie Group is doing, they're replacing belts on the lines that are still gonna be there. And motors and rollers and stuff like that, but we're,
So what is it new is gonna operate like that?
Yeah, so it'll be compatible, yeah, good.
Danny, I take issue with your first statement, says we may not be the smartest or the fastest on our feet. I think we are the smartest, and I think we are the fastest on our feet. When you're talking, listen to Mike getting it done, I want that guy on my team.
Yeah.
well, the way I put it, it makes looking fast look a little bit better, but I appreciate it.
We're looking good on both offense and defense.
Also, other things at the MRF, we are getting, the material out this month. We sold it to a company that made it part of the bid process this month. Had to have all material out of the MRF by the end of the month. So if you were operating, and if we saw that you weren't gonna give it out, get it out in time, we were gonna give it to the next bidder, because we got to have that place empty. So, and we've been, in the last 3 or 4, and all of this week, we went from having 400 bales of cardboard to, by this afternoon, 0. So, we got it out.
How about prices, Mike, any changes?
Prices, that's what we're gonna go over next. Office paper dropped $20 a ton this month. So we went down on the office paper this month by $20 from November, I'm sorry, it went up $20. November it was $25, December it went to $45 in the newspaper. The cardboard is basically the same price as it was last month. And, office paper went down by about 7 months. We've seen the plastics and stuff, all the plastics starting to climb up a little bit. I had a guy yesterday bid on our aluminum bid, and he was a high bid by 0.03% He said, I want to let you know up front, I may take a 3 to 6 cent discount on the material if it's not just like I want it. I told him there'd be no discount and sold it to the other guy.
Good.
So,
It's not
you know,
a clean bid if he's got
portion of the
qualifications.
is not worth it to take that chance.
That's right.
So, we did that yesterday, but we work on those prices and look at them all the time. We have found a market for, 5-gallon buckets, and, at $260 a ton. So all the 5-gallon buckets where we take the paint from the HHW and use it on the landfill, all those buckets, and we're now collecting buckets separately, and we'll be belling those buckets and selling those cartridges. We have found a market for 4s, 5s, and 7s at 25 cents a pound, and we're in the process of, when we get to the new piece of equipment in February, we will start separating 4s, 5s, and 7s, because I get 25 cents a pound for it.
If you aggregate them by type,
Well,
by number.
Yeah.
Newspaper, for folks that were never a paper route, paper boy, normally I laugh about the papers now. Normally he told me when I asked him, he said, "Some news comes on Monday and it ain't even heavy enough to throw."
Can't wrap many fish.
That's all that Sun News floating up down 90 up there. They can't get it inside the fence.
Yeah, they don't even produce one on Saturday no more.
Yeah.
Change the rate, still pay the same.
Haven't seen their stock price lately.
Driver of the month, landfill chose Kevin Jenkins. He worked for the city of Myrtle Beach and has, married and has 3 children, and he definitely likes to pose for a picture.
Yeah.
He's got a cheap smile. So, he must have been happy he was chosen.
He'll speak to you.
Any questions?
I don't have any.
No.
Thank
I
you.
wish you good luck on all the work that's coming up.
Anybody want to help, just let us know.
All right. Mike said he would
You're
be
so
free during the holiday.
insufficient.
He called Mike. He said he don't have anything to do.
I'm sure Richie can need him over there on January 9th.
Oh, work for Richie, gracious, hey.
That's why I volunteered you, Mike. I wanted to volunteer, but when I saw Richie there, I said, no, I think I'll do something else.
It would be done right, though, wouldn't it, Rick? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Be talking to them.
On second thought, that's a good, we may not wanna send Mike out there. I'm not so sure how much work we'll
Put
get
it
done.
on the corner.
Yeah, we have to put him in the corner by himself.
Oh, good.
All right, Mr. Knight?
Thank you, sir. The last 6 weeks, and I really don't know why this is happening, but we've had 3 companies come talk to us over the last 6 weeks about Alcoin Magic boxes. And we will be talking about that a little bit during our retreat. But what I'm gonna recommend that we get maybe one of our engineering firms or someone to help us grade these things out, that understands them, that knows what each process is, and kind of glean the good stuff out of it, and the propaganda on one side. But we've had a Korean group to come and talk with us, and they're interested in coming to the landfill to look at our, the MSW and everything that's coming in, to see how their system would work with it. There's no ties, there's no guarantees. The trip's on their own, and I just wanted to let y'all know that that's another group is Syntec, and the president of that company lives in Myrtle Beach at the farm, or Carolina Forest. And we've got another group that got a contact out of Georgetown County. So there's some interest brewing, but you say, well, do you have one we can go look at? Well, we got one in India, and we got one in Germany.
Well, we can go look at that.
But
No, we can't.
one of the Korean group is got them operation overseas. Syntex is now in production. And the one process that I like from them, one of the Las Vegas, one of the big owners out there, they're gonna put all their material, wastewater, garbage, and see everything through the system, and it's developed syngas. You generate power, petroleum products and byproducts. I said, well, what you do with all this stuff that you produce, and there's no market for it, or we'll develop a contract with you up front, and whatever, if the market fails, you've got a guarantee that you're gonna get some, basically the way we did Charleston on the material there, we were guaranteed so much per ton, no matter what the market was.
You should have some engineering oversight for that. Do you need a motion from us for authorization?
No, I just wanted to make you aware that they would be here, and I'll contact them this afternoon in the morning and tell them that, we discussed it with the board and, come on, but there's a lot of talk in Washington today about this for that, and I'm not gonna get caught up in that.
Quid pro quo.
There you go. But,
And we'll have you on the news, Danny.
this article here, take one of those, pull up the information, and you will be amazed about what, this was on C-SPAN, one of the federal committees, and you will just, it will make you shiver thinking about what's going in the ocean. Guy from, Congressman from Hawaii says the floating garbage pack, another short term will be bigger than Hawaii itself, so, that's real interesting. And I would too like us to remember our employees that are out. Esther, Frank from the Hill has had a hip replacement, Scott, John, all of them just keeping me in prayers, but it seems like all of them are doing well. got a certified grant that we'll talk about and you did. But that's pretty much it. We just moving along and we think everything's going fairly well. Got a lot of projects. Yes, Mayor Cook, and thanks for a good year.
I'd like to see the director go ahead and proceed on talking to some engineering firms. Would we put out a request for a proposal, or would we just talk to them, or?
Probably just talk with them. We're already working with 2 or 3 firms, and we just got to feel comfortable with one that knows more about these systems than we know. So,
Well, we've got, as you say, we've got 2 or 3 consulting firms that we deal with now, and I'm sure that one of those, and certainly we would like to deal with somebody that we already have a rapport with, don't have to build up a relationship.
some of us remember back, not this past time with the management plan, but the one prior to that, first half a day was presented by HDR, which actually went over all these technologies to get everybody up to speed on what the technologies were and what they meant, where they were located, and who was doing what. So, we'll talk to some of them and see how we feel. And HDR's got a part of their company does these type things. I mean, they are really familiar, and what they'll do is bring somebody in from the office in Minneapolis or Miami or someplace like that, but.
Whose specialty is that?
And all our contacts is HDR in Charlotte, but we'll let you know more about that at the retreat next week.
As chairman of the diversion committee, when you have these people here, I'd like our committee to be, listening to what they have, or either have a committee meeting and let them come and present.
And basically, y'all can, let you know when they're gonna be out here and you can meet them. And, HDR's on the hill today. We're doing the characterization study as we speak. And, that's the winter part of it. As you know, we did one in the summer, we'll do one in the winter, and then, kind of put them together and see where we're at. Not the old Korean group. You need to know what's in our waste stream before you can say what you're gonna do, so.
Was that the group that we saw when we were in Chicago, or is it a different group?
It's gotta be a different.
This is gasification, not
Not aerobic, okay, anaerobic.
That was on they were taking food waste and turning it in.
Yeah.
what,
fertilizer, and 24 hours was their
days.
objective, yeah.
Processes are out there. They're expensive, and, like I asked one, I said, how are you going to, educate the public that they're paying $36 a ton today? And if we go with your system, it's gonna be $90 a ton. That's gonna take some fast talking.
I would think.
So,
That's a lot of convention.
Fast on your feet.
Yeah, that would be fast enough.
I don't think you need to get that one researched.
You can just pass on
I
that.
think we can go ahead and scratch through that name.
and most time when in the past, when they found out what our tipping fee was, it did not fit their formula.
Right.
Tipping fee had to be about $50-$60 to make their financial program work.
And frankly, it would be that for them to start, but as I've noticed ones around the country, it kept going up $10 a ton every few months for it to be able to, and then they kept going to the state people and wanting them to fund it to go along with that kind of tipping fee, so we need to make sure that.
Yeah, Bo?
Starting on page 51, we have 3 news stories about some confusion in the marketplace on fines for materials that are coming to this facility that are commingled. Did you want to make a comment about the confusion?
Confusion is, when we started with Charleston, they said their recyclables were clean, and we based our, we knew what kind of dregs we were getting out of our material, and Charleston came in and it pretty much double what ours were. And the board has always approved, misrepresented loads, whether it's concrete, whether it's yard waste. If somebody brings a concrete in to get that break, and it's half concrete and half garbage, we found them, for that. Mike was having trouble with, a lot of the loads at the MRF, and, we talked, and I said, well, just go talk with the cities and the haulers, all of them, and say they got to watch what they're bringing in, because, you're possibly gonna be facing some fines. Did that 2 weeks ago with yard waste. Company brought in a whole roll-off box full of black bags loaded with yard waste and dumped them. And we put them on notice that if that happens again, you're gonna be charged. It happened again. So I'm sure the hauler has contacted the landscaping company and said, hey, black bags, your pickup's gonna be more because somebody's gonna pay that fine. So we talked to everyone, and then the confusion was that we looked at one of the cities was what they were putting on their door hangers and what they were taking. So we contacted the city and said, now you're saying you're restricting what you're taking more so of what we're taking. We're taking 1 through 7 plastics, and they were only taking number 1s. So we encouraged them to go along with what we were doing, because we didn't want to get, between them and their citizens, taxpayers. But I think they conclude they're gonna do it the way they're gonna do it, and that's gonna be between their citizens and elected people there.
Yeah, because I've had some people from that city contact me on that had the door hangers and wanted to know if we did take it or we didn't. And of course, I talked with you and got the information.
It's still 0 tipping fee at the MRF.
Right.
If you bring in a load of household garbage, it ain't free.
Right.
Somebody's got to pay for that.
Well, there are quite a few people that have called me, and they work within the board of their HOAs, that they're intending to continue to do the level of recycling they've been doing, even though they cannot put it in that recycling. And so you are probably gonna get some more calls and asking if they can go to the county recycling with just the recycling that's not allowed. And this is probably something we need to either take up in the recycling committee or at the next meeting, but these things are going around. Some of these people are gonna interact with their city council members over it, because they feel like they're charged for recycling, and they're doing that, plus then they're still doing what they've been doing and want to bring it to our recycling
But
centers.
they're not paying for the county recycling.
I realize that, so those are some things that
And
we may have to educate people on, so I would like for you to think about it. I don't know how much more money we have left in the $10,000 grants that we have, but we may want to, if we have any left at the end of the year, use some of that money to either help some of the cities educate their people, or educate the people, or I'd hate to see us lose that much recycling from one city, particularly a tourist city. So I think we need to think on that
This
somehow.
grant basically,
Right.
for the Surfside, basically does that.
Right.
They want money to put stickers on their cans, and as they say, it will be listed on the sticker what the Solid Waste Authority takes
Okay.
or doesn't take.
Thanks.
They
Same
will-
thing,
they-
Northborough Beach was in their grant.
Yeah.
I
Do
thought,
the same thing.
I understand
But
what
what I regret is it's a confusion in the marketplace,
Yeah,
because a news
but-
story is out there
Yeah.
that one particular city is gonna be more restrictive than everyone else. But it made it sound like we were the party being the more restrictive. So it led to confusion out there as to,
Right.
Well,
And we're not
I think too,
causing
but I
that.
think the city of Myrtle Beach, one of their things was, it's not that they're trying to clean up contamination, they were concerned about contamination loads. And so they took it upon themselves to try to stop that up front, because if they continue to get whatever they got, it's my understanding that since they don't have the transfer station, they don't have the manpower to separate the pizza boxes and all the stuff that they have, then that's one way that they're trying to clean up their system, which, I mean, that's.
they're saying no
that's-
margarine tubs,
Yeah.
the margarine tubs are 3s.
Yeah.
I mean, and we take up to 7s.
But I think they understand, I think we've done a good job of, over the county, expressing what we can take and what we don't take. And I don't think it's not that they didn't understand that we didn't take that. I think they made the decision on their own that they would not take stuff that may be contaminated based on the fact that they may be getting a contamination fee if it comes here.
It was their choice, and, I think the citizens are going to have to educate their politicians to see if they can't open it up. But when we put them on notice, that we have to tell people what we will take, and if it's adverse to what the city is doing, that's between that taxpayer and city council.
Good,
Thank you.
thank you, okay.
Covering that.
There was no committee reports. We had no old business. Under new business, we have finance assurance.
You'll see in your packet the reports required for financial assurance. We are required by DHEC, all permitted landfills are, to provide financial assurance. As we do each year, we do it through our local government financial test. You will see, like I said, at the time we put this packet together, Horry County had not completed their CAFR. I did receive a copy of their CAFR this week, I think it was Monday or Tuesday of this week. So I know, now I do have those figures plugged in. We do meet all the requirements. And we'll be sending that packet out to DHEC, once I receive board's approval on these reports.
You need approval motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved in second. Are there any questions? All those in favor, let me know by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The grant, Esther had just sent me some information on the grant from Town of Surfside Beach, that was added to the agenda for your approval. They are requesting $2,400, for the production and purchase of recycling decals to be placed on all the recycling roll carts in the town to help, out-of-town guests, when they come into town, to know what can be recycled, what can't be, to help the contamination.
That's a good idea, because that's where that's the source. That's
Exactly.
rolling that out. It's a good idea.
Exactly, so they are requesting, through the grant process, a grant of $2,400. And the committee did review it, and, we were in approval of it, we just need board's approval to move forward with that.
And we brought it to you like this because of timing.
Right.
And we won't get back together to, in January, so it was a timing issue. We're talking about 2,000 decals for $2,400. And, city says that if they need any more than 2,000, the city will buy the few that they may need, and they're gonna, like Dan said, they're gonna start in the tourist area, rental area, first, putting them on, so. I know some of the board members, we talked about these decals early on and what it's done for some of the people across the nation on another reminder.
I think it's a really good idea, because I see a lot of recycling bins out. The problem is that it says recycling, but most people don't know what it is that they can recycle, and when in doubt,
Especially
it
our
just goes,
visitors.
it just goes somewhere else.
They use them as a garbage.
They just have the garbage pail, and so this is a great idea, sort of like what the school system did when we went out there and they had the posters up where they show you what goes where. I think if you tell people where it goes, they usually put it there. If you leave it up to them to make a decision, include myself, it goes to the most obvious place. Don't we? So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Any question? All those in favor, let me know by saying aye. Aye, and that has been approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Roundtable discussion. I had just two things. We've got a couple of conferences coming up. We've got one in, the SWANA conference in March. It's gonna be in Atlanta. So we need early registration for those people who may think that they wanna go there. It's gonna be on March 23 through the 26th. And unfortunately, the CRA conference that's gonna be in Raleigh this year will be at the same time that the conference is going to be in Atlanta. So, we may decide that some people may wanna go to Atlanta, some people may wanna go to Raleigh. It's hard to make both of them because they're at the same dates, at the same time. So,
Can we get an agenda for both to look and see which
yeah,
one
we'll
they
have an
might be
agenda.
more?
I have one here, but, I'll get Lisa to get us an agenda. She can email you one. I don't know if the agenda is probably out, the one for the CRA. I know the dates are out. We'll see if we can get you an agenda and see.
we decide
And then
maybe.
make a decision on about, where you wanna go.
Okay. Question, I keep getting emails on research conferences. And it's very interesting that I keep sending them to Esther and we talk about them here and there. And I have asked her, because the first few were far enough away, I didn't care to go. But some of the research that they're actually looking at, I think in the future would be helpful for us to know where that research is and where it's going. And I think I just sent Esther one, she probably hadn't seen it. Now, if I were her, I wouldn't be looking at that right now.
I can promise you, she probably hadn't seen it.
Right, but at some point, and I had asked her before, a month or so ago, if she can request, some of that research from those people so that we can read it here without going to the conference.
Because what we're getting are the requests to present.
Yeah,
And
well,
so-
we're getting all kinds of things and different ones looking at it and I don't know if they can actually send us that. Sometimes some of those conferences,
They put out
she
their,
can go and look at it, it'd be a YouTube thing or whatever,
Right,
and can
right.
bring it
Protocol
in.
proceedings.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'd like to see some of the research without spending the money to go.
Yeah, well, I
And
think
some
that's,
of
yeah.
that, and then if there is any of the research ones where there is something that in the next 5 to 10 years we should be working toward, and they're close enough, I'd like to see.
I think a
some.
lot of those things, they YouTube them, and a lot of the research, especially if it's a research project where somebody may be working on it for a PhD or something
Right.
like that, they'll have it where you can view it on a
Right.
video and,
Yeah.
you know, and get some ideas about what they're trying to do with it. But, yeah, we certainly I'd rather look at it
Me too,
and understand, or
Because-
have some idea of what it is before I decide to
before
fly
you
all over
decide
the
you want
country.
to go somewhere.
You will see some of that information next week.
Oh, okay.
Because one of those research groups is out of Raleigh.
Okay.
And they presented before at, the local stuff, and they put some together on tipping fees.
Mhm.
And I talked to Jan about it, and she contacted them, and we got that information that,
I read some of that on the tipping fee and where we are and thinking about that and where and why would really be a great thing to know.
that's the reason you're gonna get it.
That'd be
next
good.
week.
So
Okay.
then next week, since we're in the tip and feed mentality, that'd be great. Dan is right on top.
That's right, he's running
Yeah,
quick.
you got it. You're right. He may not be smart, but he's
He's
fast.
fast.
Have to get tennis shoes.
And that's not my remarks, that was his. I took it directly from him. I disagree. Anything else for round table? Who is first? Go ahead, Bo.
When you're
Go.
in light of some later reading material that follows up on the Ted Danson article, the current issue of National Geographic has got an outstanding article in there regarding plastics and contamination and how much we're eating every day that we're not aware of that we're eating, and talked about the FIFA gas and all the other things. So if you got access to the current issue of National Geographic or whatever else, it's some good reading.
Keep Horry County Beautiful has published a survey. County Council is considering a bag ban. The INR committee took it up. Initially, they were very interested in proceeding with a bag ban. When it came back up, they wanted to wait to hear what all the other municipalities within the county were doing before they proceeded. So Keep Horry County Beautiful decided to take that time to survey the public to see what they wanted. So we're asking people to please come to the Facebook page of Keep Horry County Beautiful or Friends of Keep Horry County Beautiful, and you can pull up the survey. It only take you 10 minutes to fill it out, but let the county know what your feelings are about bans or possibly charging for bags or other alternatives to try to reduce the plastic that we're getting here at the Solid Waste Authority. So I would encourage everyone to please go to our Facebook page. I meant to bring, I'll bring on the next meeting on next week with the address that you can go to a meeting to go directly to address this, but to keep your eyes out for that survey, and please encourage people that you know to look it up and participate, because the more people that we can get into the survey, we can apprise council of what the public is interested in. And I hope that the public is going to help convince the county that we need to proceed with modifying how we handle plastics here in this county. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Move to adjourn.
So moved. Meeting is adjourned. Thank y'all.